Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is Carey Conley, and as promised, I am coming to you today to talk to you guys about my favorite subject, my whole reason for being, which is why I say vision is victory. And I am going to be talking for a while. I'm gonna try and limit this to about 30 minutes because I know we have lots to do and we're staying busy. But I'm thrilled that you guys are gonna hop on live, and if you didn't see this live and you watched the recording, please let me know in the comments below. I want you guys to know that I'm already starting to see comments pop up, and I appreciate you guys all so much being here. Because I'm gonna be talking for a while and I have a lot of content that I wanna cover, I wanna tell you that I'm not going to really pay so much attention to the comments below, but I do want you to leave them. Hey everyone, hey, thanks for coming on, I appreciate you guys. I'm not going to be able to keep looking at that because it's going to distract me from the very important message that I want to share with you today. But please do comment that you're here. Let me know if I don't know you, how you found out about this and why we should connect. And if you are somebody who's been through this with me before, and there is something that this has helped you with in the past, I would love that if you would comment below as to how this work really helped you in your life. So I'm going to be talking, like I said, for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys the top 10 reasons why I say vision is victory. And I'm going to break this talk down into 3 parts, just so you guys know. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and how I came to be talking to you guys live right now. I'm also going to be sharing those top 10 reasons, and here's the other thing I want you to know. I'm going to be inviting 25 sweet souls into my last live, facilitated by me, 6-week group coaching series starting the middle of October. It's called Vision is Victory, the Masterclass. And I will give you more details about this, but here's what I want you to know right now. If anything I say to you throughout this broadcast really tugs at your soul, meaning that you know this is exactly what you need right now before you do anything else, I want you to private message me in Facebook that you want more information about that, and you and I will set up a live little 10-minute phone call to determine whether this is the right time for you to come into a mastermind like this, because I do limit it to 25 people. I want to make sure that the people coming in are really, really ready to do some vision work and are going to be engaged and interacting with each other, and it's just going to make a life-changing thing for you, all right? So I'll mention that several times throughout the broadcast to keep private messaging me if anything I'm saying resonates with you and you want to know more about that 6-week live mastermind. I've written some notes, you guys, so occasionally you're going to see me drop down so that I can follow along with my thoughts. And I want you guys to also know that I know that this information may not apply to you. You may be somebody who's got it all figured out, and if you do, I really hope you do private message me, because I seriously am still on the journey myself. So, but I want you guys to know that this is information for people of all ages. Most specifically, I've got my radar set on the 30 and unders because I want to start working with younger adults to help them get their vision more clear earlier on in their life, because it's much easier to work on than it is later in life. So I want you guys to know that all ages, all background, all educational levels, all careers, this information applies to all of us because it's very foundational and it's very personal. So if what you're hearing right now, you've already thought of a couple people, please hit the share button and share this out, because the more people I share this with, the more lives we change, right? So I appreciate that too. And couple disclaimers, this is live, so anything could happen. I could start coughing, could start sneezing, and I do have a dog, as most of you guys know. If you've been following along, his name is Tucker. And like every child, Tucker right now is tucked in for a nap. But if I know this dog like I knew my children, he could arrive on the scene at any moment. So I just want you to know that Tucker might be making an appearance, because that's just how it works, right? So I'm going to, like I said, head into talking about the top 10 reasons. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not responding to your comments. I see a lot of people popping up right now. It's just simply because I want to cover a lot in a short amount of time. And I do want you guys to know, if you don't know this about me already, I am a time stickler. So I've got a clock right in front of me so that I stay on time and stay on task. But I want you guys to know this too. if I don't say this at the end, I want you guys to know right up front, I had a really great time with you guys today. Let's see who catches that. All right, so a little bit of backstory on me and my why I am here live with you guys all right now. So, backtrack about 29 years ago, I was doing the thing that all of us in the 80s did. My husband and I had graduated with business degrees. We had moved back to Denver to settle there and start our marriage. My husband was very, very successful in his corporate career. I was somebody who changed jobs about every 2 years because I just couldn't figure it out. And so many people obviously were sticking with the job, working up the ranks, and I just was looking for the next job. Just really thought that I wasn't finding the right job for me. And at one of the jobs I was at, I was introduced to a mentor who was the first woman in my life who told me that I was never going to fit that mold, that I needed to take some time and really figure out on paper what it is I wanted my life to look like. Now, I don't know about you guys. Maybe you were raised in an environment that somebody told you that you could be all you want to be and you could be anything. I was raised in an environment, and no blaming, just is what it is. We all were at that phase of life where the best thing to do was to go to college, get a degree, and get a really good job and stay there because it was following the older patterns of staying there, moving up the ranks, retiring, getting retirement, all of that. And obviously that world does not apply anymore, and it did not apply to me. And I'm going to guess, because I've done this live in workshops with people in front of me where I've said, how many of you, and maybe you want to raise your hand in the comments, are that person? You just couldn't figure it out. You followed the mold of what everybody told you to do, but it just wasn't fitting. And that was me. And I felt really bad about it. I thought there was something terribly wrong with me. As a matter of fact, the people closest to me thought there was something terribly wrong with me. And I just really wanted to figure it out. So in about 1988, 1989, I sat down and on pieces of paper, which I have right here, I wrote out in very clear detail, you guys, what I wanted my life to look like in every phase of my life. My relationship with my husband, what kind of a mom I wanted to be, what kind of values I wanted to instill in my kids, where we were living, what did the house look like, if we were traveling, where were we going, who were we going with. And I had at that point decided that I knew that I wanted to have my own business but had no clue what it was. So I wrote several question marks literally on page 2 of this little legal pad of paper of some ideas that I had around being in business. Now, I had no clue, you guys. Nobody in my life had ever said that I could be an entrepreneur. So I wrote things that I valued. I thought that I might want to be, my background was in advertising and marketing before I became an entrepreneur. And so I thought that I might go into consulting work, which I did for a very short time. And then I started writing some things around, hey, I think I really want to be with a company that really values the women and allows them to stay home and raise their kids and make a really great income. I wrote things like maybe I wanted to be in health and wellness, maybe in skincare, not knowing anything about my next path. And on the bottom of one of those pieces of paper, no joke, you guys, I wrote that someday I wanted to be a person who taught people about the importance of vision and goal setting. No clue how that was going to happen. But here's what happened that day, you guys. I believe what happened that day is that I put a stake in the ground. I started really listening to what was true for me. And I shut everything else out. And I think because what happened is I aligned with God's purpose for my life, little by little, it caused a ripple effect. And so fast forward about 6 months later, I was pregnant with my son, and I was working for an advertising agency at the time, so I was working long hours for about that little amount of money. And I really wanted to unplug and not knowing what to do. But after I had him and I was working full-time, I was introduced to my first gig as an entrepreneur, which is in the network marketing industry, as you guys know, with a company called Arbonne. And that was my ticket, and I knew it. I knew it the instant I saw it because I had written it on paper. And so I was allowed to, stay at home, make a great income, go up the ranks of the company, take my kids on a lot of great trips. It was awesome. But 6 years ago, I created this content that you are hearing from me now. And I started teaching this to people outside of just the walls of one industry. And so I share that story with you because you need to know that one of the reasons I tell you vision is everything is because most of us right now are operating without this. What we're doing is operating with a hope and a wish and a prayer plan going on up here, thinking that, if I just meditate on it enough, it'll happen, or I'm just kind of hoping that next year will be better. That is not a vision, you guys. So first thing I want to tell you is this. Let's define what a vision is. A vision for some people is, like I said, just kind of thinking about it, praying over it, wishing it will happen, talking about the dream, making vision boards, which I'm a big believer in, you guys. I've had one for years. But that is, like I said, a hope and a wish and a prayer plan. And when I define vision, I define it as this. It is a documented, written, detailed in every aspect of your life of what is true to you and what is in your heart and what you want to create for you and your family, short-term and long-term. So that's the first thing of the definition. And the second part of the definition, and this is where it gets a little scary for most people, is it has dates and timelines on when you are going to create that. Most people, this scares them when I talk about that, because what I talk about is you need to have targets along the way to shoot for to keep moving towards the big goal. And oftentimes people may tell me, more times than not, people tell me I got it up here. They don't have it in writing. Sometimes they will tell me, yes, that I have it in writing, but the last thing I usually ask them is, does it have a date on it? Because what I see most people doing is saying, well, I want to earn that Mercedes or I want to take that trip, but they don't have a date of when that is going to happen. And so we get pushed off track every day, which is the number one reason we have to have a vision. I'm going to start my countdown here in a second, is we get distracted. So top 10 reasons, you guys. The first one is we have some serious problems going on with distraction and lack of focus. Can anybody say an amen to that? So I'm doing the countdown now if you guys are following with me. I'm starting with number 10. If you're taking notes and you need to know numbers, because I'm one of those people too, that we've got a problem with distractions. So in the top 10 of these, the 5 of the 10 that I'm going to talk about are the biggest challenges and issues we've got going on in this world right now. Distractions is huge. When I wrote this, you guys, on paper in 1988 on a legal pad of paper, as you notice, because there wasn't iPads and cell phones and all of that, it was easy for me to sit down and do it because it was quiet. And unfortunately right now, we live in a world that you guys might be watching me, but you might also be on your phone texting, or you might be sending some emails. We've got all sorts of distractions coming in, and it pushes us off course. When you have a written vision like this, you guys, it is very, very easy to do what I call put the bumper pads down the bowling alley. You guys know how we used to do this with our kiddos, so that the ball wouldn't go in the ditch. It becomes the bumper pads in your bowling alley, you guys, so that you don't end up in the ditch and you don't get distracted so easily. All right, so that's number 1. Why I say having a written vision is everything is because it will help fix the focus and distraction problem. All right, number 9, rolling into that. And I talk about this all the time, and those of you who know me, and my second favorite word behind vision is consistency. So many times, don't we? We start out with a plan on paper and saying, I'm going to do this, and we might go for it for about a week, maybe a month if we're lucky, but we get pushed off course to the point where we can't stay consistent. You guys, I've studied the millionaires and billionaires and the really successful, personally successful people in life. They have one secret key, and the secret key is that they are consistent. They do the do every single day, no matter what. No matter what. And it's so hard, you guys, for us to do that, again, because of distractions and self-sabotage, which is a whole other topic I won't get into today, that we can't stay consistent, you guys, and the magic is in the consistency, because once you do something regularly, daily, it becomes a routine, it becomes a habit, you start momentum behind that thing, and momentum breeds excitement, and it takes on a life of its own. right? So inconsistency. When you have a vision, you guys, like I did, I had a very strong vision of where I wanted to go in both of my businesses. And on days where I didn't feel like doing it, I did it anyway. And the reason was because the vision was bigger. What I saw on the other side and what I was working towards was more important than the distractions and what was tripping me up. I'm going to talk about adversity in a little while. I'm going to take a little water. Thank you guys for all the comments. I see them coming through. And as I said at the top of this thing, you guys, I'm not going to respond to the comments as I'm going through because I'm watching my time and I want to stay focused, but I will promise you I will respond to every single one of them. And as I said at the top of this live, I am going to be inviting some of you into a mastermind, a 6-week mastermind with me in October. So if anything I'm saying resonates throughout this live, private message me now so that we can talk and I'll give you more information on that. All right. So number 10, distractions. Number 9, inconsistency. Number 8, big problem, overwhelm. Oh my gosh, you guys. So how many of you guys get up in the morning and already within 30 minutes to an hour inside the day, you're already going, I don't know how I'm going to get through this day. I have so much on my plate, so many hats I'm wearing, so many balls I'm juggling. And I now, for the past 6 years, have coached a lot of entrepreneurs, again, many different ages, backgrounds, business models, and overwhelm kills your bank account, you guys. Truly, too much on your plate means that you can't stay focused on doing the one thing that you are best at. And I know why we do it, but it really shuts you down, you guys, in so many ways. And like I said, I could talk about this topic all day long too, but too much on your plate, you guys, and you can't make the right decisions every day with your time, your money, and the people you spend it with. So anytime I get proposed something, which I do a lot, I'm sure you guys do too. Before I say yes to anything, you guys, my vision is so clear of who I am and where I'm going today, tomorrow, in a month, 3 years, 5 years, that I can make a decision like that as to whether I should do it or not. Truly, how amazing would it be that you have some sort of a gauge that every decision you make today, you could go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and know that you're staying on track. Vision helps with that. All right, so that's number 8. Number 7, and I think this stems from being overwhelmed. I have seen, and I said this in a workshop about a year ago, and it really hit a pain point, so I knew that I had hit on something. Most of the people that I see, especially if they're entrepreneurs, are the busiest broke people I know. Super busy, filled up calendars. They can show me all the places they've gone, all the places they're networking, all the appointments they've had, the coffee stuff, the this, the that, the things they're involved in. But at the end of the day, when I ask them, can you invest in yourself to take your business to the next level and get rid of that? Most people say, I don't have the money for that. Which I'm not even going to talk about investing in yourself today because that's a whole other thing, but it's a huge thing, you guys. Because if you can't invest in the things that you know you need right now to take yourself and your family and your life to the next level, something's wrong. Especially if you are overwhelmed, inconsistent, and you have a focus problem. There's a problem, right? Busy and broke. I hope that I maybe hit a few nerves there, and I'm pretty honest, you guys. So I do this because I'm a coach and because I love you. I don't do it because I'm trying to make you feel bad or shame you in any way. I would not be a good mentor to you right now if I really sugarcoated this, right? All right, number 6. Some of you are working backwards. Most of us, as a matter of fact, work backwards in our life. So we set goals on paper. We put goals with to-dos behind it. But here's the thing. There's no dates, as I mentioned early, and there's no quantitative measure. That's another thing. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur right now. None of the entrepreneurs that I've worked with, or very few when I started working with them, number 1, did not have a clear vision of where they were going in 3 years. So number 2, there was no game plan on paper, a 3-year business plan with targets of when they should do what. And so what happens with that, not having a business plan, you guys, with timelines and quantitative measures, is some of the decisions that we make, we're doing the right thing at the wrong time in our life and our business. All right? Is this making sense to any of you guys? Private message me, like I said earlier, if any of this is resonating with you. because vision comes first. You can't do anything before that, you guys. You're working backwards. If you put goals and things on paper without having a 3-year vision in writing like this first, there's no way you can make a quantitative plan. All right, I see so many comments coming through, and I'm so tempted to respond to all of you, which I will, I promise, at the end, but I want to stay focused and talking to you guys right now, all right? All right, so now I want to talk to you about 5 more, and these are 5 like biggies, and they're kind of new. For those of you who've been through this with me before, you may not have heard me say this before, but here's number 5. Right now, you guys, you're wasting your most precious, non-negotiable commodity. And if you don't know what it is, it's time. It interests me how ironic it is that when I say to people, you know you need to do this right now, right? How many people say to me, yes, I know, but I don't have time. And guess what? You're right. You guys, you don't have time to waste because right now, minute by minute is ticking away. The end of this day, gone. Can't get it back. The end of this month, gone. The end of this year, gone. And I don't know how many of you guys have seen that happen in your life. Like that, life happens, right? Your kids grow up and they're out of the house. You are facing retirement and you're not prepared for it. Not emotionally, not mentally, not spiritually, not financially, right? Time is your most precious commodity, you guys. And we waste it when we say, I don't have time to do this. I just don't even know how to anywhere else to go around that other than you're right. You don't have time. Your life is precious, and so are the people around you. All right. Number 4, your relationships could be suffering. If you haven't gotten really clear on who you are and what you value, especially if you have somebody in your life that you need to do this together, you probably are doing things that are keeping you busy, but they're distracting you from the most important thing, which is the very people you want to have this life with. I said this most recently in a private mastermind a couple of months ago that I was invited into. There was 12 beautiful little souls there that I said that how important is your family to you right now, and that when you get this business up and running, you still have a family there for you. I brought a few tears, and I didn't mean to, again, shame anybody or make anybody feel bad, but you guys, it's everything. Those people, those relationships, the very thing you're working so hard for right now, are you paying attention to it every single day because it's important? And if you are not distracted, more focused, more consistent, not overwhelmed, you guys, do you know that the really successful people, I learned this from Darren Hardy, that you can work in your zone of genius 90 minutes a day and move your business and your dream forward more than how you're doing it right now, which is 10, 12, 14 hours a day and not getting anywhere. It's miraculous. All right. Okay. Number 3. I see so many people say, all I really want to do in life is help other people. Well, guess what? If you don't have a vision, you can't help other people. Leaders have to have a lot of qualities, you guys. And one of the top 2 is they have to have a very clear vision of who they are, what they stand for, and who they're leading and influencing. And if you don't think you are a leader, look around in your household and see who's watching you. Are you happy and proud of how you spend your day, you guys, and that they are following you and seeing you, right? Because they will do what you do, not so much what you say. So vision is everything, you guys, from a standpoint of helping other people. Can't help others if you're not helping yourself. All right, number 2. So adversity. So lots of things will happen in life, right? Big things, little things. You might have today where somebody hurts your feelings and it throws you off course. You might have something financially happen to you that kind of devastates you for a little while, or you might have something seriously hit your life. Little adversity, big adversity. Your vision becomes the anchor in every single storm, you guys. And I've had them all. I'm coming back. Okay, so, sorry. I promised myself I would not get emotional, but it is what it is. Thank you guys. I see your love and comments. So here's the thing. If you've been pushed off course for anything in your life, you guys, your vision is everything. Okay? Oh. I have to make a joke right now so I can lighten the mood. So many of you guys know, because you've seen me up on stage, the reason I don't like to cry is because I don't cry pretty. My new favorite Carey Underwood song, by the way. I know people who can get up on stage and do a real pretty cry and get through and keep talking, and I am not one of those people. So anyway, I think you guys get my point, right? That you have to have something you guys know that no matter what, you're going to keep going. That's why I'm here. Oh, so sorry, you guys. Okay. Hang in there with me because I'm watching my time. I'm doing good. Coming back. So sorry for going down, but it is what it is, and that's life. Okay, so number one, and this is my new favorite. I've never said it to any of you all before. I've done a lot of reading over the summer, and I've come to know that I think what's happening for most of you, if you're still following with me, and I can tell you are, is even though right now you may feel like, okay, I've got this vision thing down, I've been through this work before, I'm very clear about what I'm doing, I know where I'm going, and amen, amen, if you have really done that and you're honest about it, right? But even if you're operating pretty good, you're making money, your family's healthy, you haven't had anything tragic happen in your life, right? There is a gnawing at you. And the gnawing is your little soul knocking at you going, you were meant to do more. And you know it. The thing is that you can feel it. And even though, like I said, you might be killing it this year, and if you are, congratulations to you. If you feel at this point in September of 2018 that you rocked it out, congratulations, because at about this point, and I've shared this statistic before, 80% of us are nowhere near it and have already given up and thinking that 2019 is going to be different. You've got something, you guys, you were called to do, and you know it. It is whispering at you every single day, and you will never be at peace until you figure it out. Do you get that? You might be operating in what I now know as the zone of excellence. You are doing the things that you are really good at, maybe because you were trained in it, you went to school for it, or you've been doing it for years. You might be operating in your zone of excellence, but you're not operating in your zone of genius. Very few of us get there. Because the zone of genius is doing what your purpose, what you were called to do while you were here on this earth. And the only way that I know you can figure out what it is, you guys, is to do this. There's no way around it. Now, here's the last thing I want to say to you before I wrap it up. Number one, I thank you for hanging in with me live. Number two, if any of this, what I said to you, resonated with you and you know you need help with this, private message me now and we will set up a phone chat to talk about this mastermind that I'm going to be kicking off for the very last time. I'm going to be doing it, facilitating it live myself. And it'll be 6 weeks going from where I left off today, getting your vision on paper and how to do that. And here's what I want to tell you guys, and I'm truthful and a little bit in your face about this. I know some of you right now are going to say, well, I don't need help with that. I'm just going to do what she did. I'm going to set aside the time and I'm going to sit down and write it out. You won't do it. And I know it. The reason I know it is because so many people over the past 25 years have said, you know what, Carey, you're right. I'm going to go home and I'm going to do this. And they are the very people that when they don't get the help and they're not guided through it, I see them 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and they are in the same place, probably sometimes even worse off, that if they just had reached out and said, I need a lifeline and I need to be somewhere where somebody is going to help me through this. All right. So I want you guys to know that I'm being really truthful. You need to get your vision down. Most of us don't have it the way I've described it to you. And I hope you now know the 10 reasons why I say before you do anything else, and I mean anything else, those 10 reasons are just 10 of a lot more that I've thought of. All right. So as I said at the very beginning, I thank you all for coming on with me live. I was scared to do live because I knew that anything could happen, and it did, other than Tucker waking up and being in the middle of our little broadcast. I hope that if you were watching this live, you shared it. I hope that you will message me if I touched you in some way, and even if you don't, I hope that I added value to your life today. And more than anything else, I hope that you will comment below what your one aha was that you got out of this live today, and that you will continue to follow along in this journey. Love and appreciate you all, you guys. Have a great day.